We're going to be hearing from our first presenter today, and he's been the background and foreground hero of our group since we began, since its inception. In many ways, respect this man a lot personally, and he even made a graphic. He's the first person in our group to make a graphic about what he's going to be talking about today. So Stephan Winter, how to get more customers to listen and grow your brand with Stephan Winter. So I will pass it on to Stephan.
Well, thank you very much, David, for that very nice introduction. Okay, so let's get started. All of you are here for a reason, a very good reason, and that is that you all want to grow your business, and you have a message that you believe that will help a lot of people if you could just get that message out. And then you think that that would make a big impact in the world, and I totally believe it. But all have a problem, and that problem is that we want to know, how do we get more customers to listen? And you don't want to also waste a lot of money on marketing and things like that if you know it's not going to work. I understand this problem very well. In the last year, I've been working with my wife, who's also a meditation coach, trying to get her program off and running, spend quite a bit of money in marketing, trying to get people to listen, and it wasn't working. So I'm really diving into books to figure out how am I going to help her succeed and everybody else succeed, including myself. And there's one thing I figured out, which was that we have an enemy. All businesses have an enemy, and that enemy is called noise. And I'm talking about noise that comes from our company, the marketing that we create. Noise kills more ideas, products, and services than taxes, recessions, lawsuits, and climbing interest rates. And what we call marketing is really just clutter and confusion that's sprayed all over the website and emails and the flyers that we create. But by clarifying our message so that customers can listen and understand, we can repel that instead of attracting this crazy noise. So today I would like to share with you a plan. And so I will just stick with 5 principles on how to get customers to listen so that you can avoid wasting money on noisy marketing and finally grow and be happy. And as I will share a bonus at the very end, a cool little exercise that you can take home with you. All right, so principle number 1, and that is have a clear message. As I said before, we all want to grow our business, and I think that a way that we could do that, and I want to present to you, is that if we can make our message crystal clear, the customers will listen. The reality is that customers make buying decisions based on what they hear, not what we say. So here's how the problem usually plays out. We have this crazy cool idea that we think is going to really help a lot of people, and we're so passionate about it, and we rush to try to get the word out before we get crystal clear on how to say our message. So we start to directly get out on a computer and create advertisements, or maybe we want to create a website. And we're really good at maybe designing. That's something we've done in the past, or maybe we know somebody who knows how to make a website. I was that guy. I created a nice little beautiful website for my wife, for example, the first one we ever created. And it was so beautiful, and it was a perfect reflection of our hearts and who we are. It tells our story, it introduces ourselves and our brands to the world, and we're so passionate about it. And we sit back, we refresh the page and watch everything interact and do its thing, and we really like it. And the next day we can't wait for somebody to buy our product and our service, and then nothing happens and there's crickets, and we keep waiting and waiting and nothing is happening. And why that is because we're really good maybe at what we do. We know how to design very well, but we don't know how to communicate our message clearly. And having a nice website, as you already know, and the design factor of things is not why people buy things. So principle number, people buy because good sales copy. People buy things because they hear and read words that make them want to buy things. It's the way that we talk about our products. It's the way that we move our products. We must learn how to use words effectively so that marketing doesn't cost us an enormous amount of money. Have you recently bought anything on Amazon? For example, you may look at the pictures, then you look at the descriptions of the product, but you really know you're going down to the reviews to see what other people have to say about the product. So it's the words that we read that makes the product sell and the service sell. So principle number 3 is the clearest and fastest message wins. People do not buy the best product or service. Can you believe that? People don't buy the best product or service. It blew my mind. You know what people do? They buy products and services that are communicated the clearest. That's hopeful, isn't it? That means that you might have a product that's not the best, but if you can communicate it the clearest, your message can really shine. You know, if your competitors have an inferior product to you, but they know how to do a better job communicating, they will sell, and you will be left wondering what happened to you. We've got to learn how to communicate very simply and easily in a way that people will understand. Principle number 4, if you confuse, you lose. I'll give you a really cool story. So Steve Jobs, back in 1983, when he was working on a project called Lisa Computer, he invested so much of his energy into this thing, and the whole campaign for this Lisa computer just completely crashed. It was not successful. It was the last project that he did for Apple, and he ended up working for Pixar. And while he was in Pixar, he learned by being in the presence of storytellers how to present his message in a clearer way that people can understand and listen. When he created Lisa, he made a 9-page ad in New York Times spelling out the technical features of what it can do. It's basically a 9-page geek talk that nobody other than NASA found any interest in it. But when he went through Pixar and he came back, he learned the art of simplifying your message so that people can understand, and he took what was before a 9-page ad on New York Times and created a 2-word billboard, think different. And the way he simplified his messaging and got it so clear is what made him so successful and Apple so successful, a complete turnaround. And a lot of people can argue that Apple's not the best products and services, other people who do a better job, but it doesn't matter. The fact is they're really good at capturing people's memory and attention because they know how to communicate. Have you ever heard of the curse of knowledge? It's basically when we assume that our customers know enough about the information that we're doing as much as we do, and the customer really doesn't. There was an experiment done in the 1990s with a Stanford University graduate, and she did a group study. One was the tappers, one was the listeners. The tappers had to tap a very simple tune, like a happy birthday song or something, and the listeners had to guess what the music was. And when they asked the tappers, what do you think is the probability that the listeners would get your tapping correct? And they thought about 50%. But when they conducted an experiment with 120 songs, they only guessed 2.9% correct. It was a huge, crazy fail. And the reason is because you got the tunes in your mind and you think they're gonna get it, but they have no idea. So if you can communicate clear without assuming that the customer knows enough about the product, then you're gonna fail if you don't communicate clear. The reality is that customers buy products and services at a level 1 and 2. If 10 was like they know enough about the product as much as you do, and you try to make your information to like a 5 or a 6, hoping they'll get it, it's not enough. You need to make it super, super simple for them. So what makes the message very clear? You have to understand how customers think. And there's 2 things that your customer brain is always doing. The first thing is that your customer's brain wants to survive and thrive, and it also wants to conserve calories. Have you heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? You know, he mentioned that the first thing we all want is that physiological need of eating and sleeping and survival, safety, home, making enough money, belonging, and relationships, and so on. Customers are basically thinking, like primitively in our minds, we're thinking, is what you're doing helping me get ahead in life? Is it helping me to save money, be stronger, be more productive, and so on and so on? That's what they're basically looking for, you know? And when you do something to your customers, if you give them a free product or service, make a YouTube video explaining benefits of certain things, or offering a free meditation or whatever, you may think you're losing something and you're giving away something for free and that's hurting you. You could be selling it. Well, what you're doing is you're communicating to the customer that they can trust you. If Savage came over the hill and tried to attack, they immediately know that you're a nice guy, you care about me, and I'm gonna befriend you and you're gonna help me defeat them. Like, that's what they're thinking. And so if your product and service is not directly related to helping your customers survive and thrive, they're not gonna pay attention. Second thing they do is that your brain is trying to conserve calories. By processing data and information, it burns calories in your brain. Imagine when you're trying to tell something to a potential customer about what you do, they're running on a treadmill. Like, you want to make it as fast and easy for them to understand so that they don't feel, what did you say again? Too much information is not going to work. So customers are basically thinking, how's your product going to help me survive and thrive? And don't confuse me. Number 5, customers is the hero and not your brand. This one's a really big point, and it really was something that I found kind of disturbing for a newbie in the business world. Because if you think about it, we all have this mentality, and rightfully so, that we are the heroes of our own story. And we want to succeed. And in our mind, we're only thinking about ourselves and our business and how can we survive and thrive. And we want other people to benefit from the stories that we got, the lessons that we learned. But when you get in front of another hero and you want to act like a hero, it's like repelling the other person. Because the other person is looking for a guide. They're not looking for another hero. And when your company starts to talk and sound directly, the first conversation, the first contact with them is they feel like you're just trying to be the one and they're not important, that you just want to make a sale and only talk about your product and service, it kind of repels them a little bit. And real leaders, real business success leaders know that when they're losing sleep over the success of their customers and not over the success of their business, then their company will actually really start growing. I think that we're missing out on an enormous amount of business by not communicating clearly, but confusing our customers. So one of the reasons why companies do this, make themselves the hero, is that when you're young, when you're just getting into the field, you want to put yourself as the hero because you're trying to prove yourself in the space. But mature companies understand that they don't have to prove themselves. They already earned that right. So they don't have to try to get people to like understand them and win their favor. So in summary, the next time you create a marketing email, a website, or any kind of video, think about these things. Is the message you're communicating going to help your customer understand how you can help them survive and thrive? And is that message crystal clear? I wanted to stick very brief with this because I don't have too much time, but I think this is enough information to get people started thinking about it. And I have a lot more in the future. If ever I have an opportunity to speak, I can build up more on this. Now I'd like to get into the fun activity. And this fun activity is to get you to create a one-liner sales message that you don't have to do now, but you can at least, take some notes and then you can work on it at home. When somebody asks you the next time, what do you do? This is what you'll say to them. And if you have employees working for you, if everybody has that same crystal clear message, it helps turn everybody into a marketing salesperson. And so it's 3 easy steps. You're going to take 3 things and put them all together. The first one is identify your customer's problem. You want to make it very specific and make it a pain point and like a short sound bite. The second thing you want to do is explain your plan and how you're going to help them solve that. Make it also like a new idea, understandable, and brief. When you walk into a dinner party and somebody asks you, what do you do? And you immediately start to say, oh gosh, let me tell you. And then you go off about your story and how you worked so hard to get this, or your grandfather started the company or whatever. The person's like, you lost me. It's too much information. How is this going to help me survive and thrive? So you got to get this to the point. And as soon as they get it, that you can help them succeed in life, they want to identify themselves with your brand immediately. And even if they don't do anything with you now, they're going to remember you in the future because you made it so simple and so clear for them that their brain's going to think, I like this guy. He helps me save calories. The third thing is to describe a successful ending to their story. Make it a main goal for your business. Your business is not how you can give them a certain service or a tool or whatever. Your main goal is getting them to that end, successful ending, and they need to know that constantly. Make it something that they want and make it brief. Now I will show 3 examples of how to do this that somebody else had already done. Keep in mind the colors. Number 1 is red, number 2 is green, and number 3 is blue. A car company in America, what's the problem? Nobody likes to haggle with used car salesmen. What are they doing about it? We remove the salesman entirely, so you can choose and test drive a car hassle-free. And what's the happy ending? So you have a peaceful experience getting the car you want. Second one is a pet store. The problem is that pet owners are concerned about what their pets are really eating. What are they doing about it? So we source our food from trusted vendors. And then what's the happy outcomes? Which ensures your pets stay healthy and happy. I'm dyslexic when I read sometimes. And the last example is the problem is that people can't get their heads around their financial future. So we created a financial plan that puts all your infos in a weekly dashboard, getting you peace of mind about your finances. That's it for me today. Any questions?
That was crystal clear.
It was great. Thank you. Fantastic.
I just really like where this is going. I'm enjoying working, like writing down the words and creating this through Raphael's business. It's helping me see he has a clear idea of what he does, but communicating it to people is actually difficult because to wrap it up all in one good sentence, that's hard. So this is really cool. This is awesome.
Yeah. Well, the key takeaway for me from Stephen's presentation, which I love, by the way, I would love a copy, and I'd like to actually share it with my ministry team because as I was listening to it, I thought we can do a lot better at being brief and really addressing like what's the pain point of the members of our community that we are, addressing through the different things we're doing. So, but yeah, the word brevity is the key takeaway for me. And, it's not more words, it's actually less words, but making those words count that will help people to understand what it is that you're offering to them. Which for communicators, for people who like to talk, that's really a challenge. So how to keep it simple, how to make it concise. So yeah, I think I need to do some practice of it, but I appreciated the demonstration that we had today. Thank you.
I really enjoyed Steve's crystal clear and inspiring presentation and the examples. And I appreciate a lot everybody helping me out in trying to figure out my sentence, and I made already great progress in this. So thank you everyone for that. Especially thank you to Steve.
Today was great. Stephen, I loved the presentation. I feel like it's gold that I'm getting for free, that this is so valuable in beginning this process of who am I, what do I do, how do I sell it in a sentence? I mean, you can go pay hundreds of dollars to learn this stuff. So what you did was amazing, and I could feel the value of it, and I appreciate that so much. So I guess I appreciate you, Stephen, for taking the time to prepare this and present it to all of us. It looks like you did a lot of research to figure out these 5 principles, and I'm just was really honored to be here to receive it. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephan. And yeah, I think one of the great value that you provided us is really, getting into the customer's mind, or what customers needs, their pains, their pleasure, just really obsessing over how can we serve our customers, meet them where they are, instead of assuming where they are. It's something I think it really takes a lot of times, and reading comments, doing surveys, asking questions, and I think it's a process of really serving them and meeting where they are. So really great point, and a really great reminder, and really ignited me to really remember that this is about my clients, not about me. And so thank you so much for the presentation. A lot of value. Took a lot of notes.
I loved the whole presentation, the topic. I felt like at the end, oh really, we're stopping, it's too short. That's one of my favorite things to brainstorm about, how to make business work. And I definitely appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Yeah, I love the call. Thank you, Stephen. It kind of feels like in some ways you're the secret weapon of the coaches group. Really helping coaches in an area that they need so much. So I think it's really valuable. I think you provide a lot of value to the group. Okay, I think that's it for today. See you all in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.